So, today I'm going to be doing the try a chapter tag. If you don't know what the try a chapter tag is, it's basically where you take a selection of books and then you read the first chapter from each of those books. That's essentially it. I did an unhaul recently, and while I was sure about getting rid of most of those books, there was a handful or so that I just wasn't positive that I wanted to get rid of. So today I'm going to try a chapter of each of those books and then decide whether or not I'm going to keep them or unhaul them. I have 6 books here that I'm on the fence about, and I'm only allowing myself to keep 3. I really want to get more room on my shelves, and like I said, I was already on the fence about these books to begin with, so I really don't see the need to keep more than 3 because that would be ridiculous. So the first book here is The Place Between Breasts by Anne Na. It's a young adult novel about a girl struggling with possible mental health problems, which is definitely the type of book I would have read in high school, but nowadays I'm not really into young adult as much, but I'm gonna see how I get on with the first chapter of this one. Okay, the first chapter is 2 pages, so this will be quick. There's a lot of metaphors, the writing was good, but like if I had to give a rating to those first couple of pages, it would be 3 stars, and that's the problem I find with a lot of young adult novels, is that I always give them 3 stars because I'm just not into young adult that much anymore. But I am thinking that the ones that even spike my interest a little bit, even if I don't want to keep the books and read them, I might check if there's an audiobook at my library or something and then listen to them that way. So that's what I think I'm going to do with this one. I am going to pass this book along, but look for an audiobook. The next book is House of Furies by Madeleine Roux. This is another young adult novel. I believe this is a gothic horror sort of situation. It's about a girl who runs away from her boarding school and ends up at this gothic manor. She then has some sort of love interest that she meets there, and she's trying to protect herself as well as him from whatever spooky goings-on are in the house. Also, the end papers are beautiful. I already know that I'm not going to continue this. I didn't even finish the chapter, but I could feel myself getting bored. The thing is, I'm not great with any sort of period piece type things, and this definitely feels like Victorian England type of situation. I don't even actually know that it is. I think it is though. I think it said 18 something or other at the beginning of the chapter, and I just wasn't paying attention. 1809, yeah. That's not really my jam. The first chapter is about a girl who is on the streets making money through telling people's fortunes. And that's as far as I got. I'm really not into period piece things. I know that I should be, and I know that's something stupid to judge it off of, but I just feel so bored anytime I'm in any sort of period piece setting, whether that's movies, TVs, books. I can't do it for some reason, so I'm gonna pass this along, especially because it's kind of a thick book for something I know I'm probably not going to enjoy. The next thing I have here is Broken Things by Lauren Oliver. I believe this is about a group of girls who kind of enter this like fandom together, and they, play pretend in this other world, and eventually one of them dies or gets murdered by the other girls, I think. I know Lauren Oliver is kind of a popular YA author, so I'm assuming her writing will be good. I'm wondering if this is maybe going to take inspiration from that Slender Man case where the two girls murdered a friend. The first chapter, again, is only 2 pages long, so score. Okay, I only made it a page in and I know I'm reading it. It starts off pretty brutally with the two girls murdering their friend and talking about how they murdered a cat and all sorts of other like ritualistic shit, and how they wrote about it in a fanfic sequel to some sort of book that they love. So yeah, I'm reading this. This sounds really dark, and that's the type of thing I like to read. The next 2 books actually go together. I don't know which one's first. I think it's this one. Yes. So that's The Stars Never Rise, and then the sequel, The Flame Never Dies by Rachel Vincent. So obviously if I'm keeping one, I'm keeping the other. If I'm getting rid of one, I'm getting rid of the other. I believe it's some sort of dystopian novel that has to do with exorcists. Yeah, so this has to do with a town that's overrun by soul-sucking demons, where sins are treated like crimes, and then there's exorcists, and I think like the church is the government. I'm not really sure, obviously, but it sounds interesting. The first chapter of this book is 20 pages. I hate that this book is matte and this book is shiny. I know that's petty, but it's really weird. Yeah, I definitely don't think I will be reading this series. So in the first chapter of this, you get kind of a quick overview of the world, which seems very 1984, except run by the church instead of the government, as well as having some vampire-type demons. You quickly get introduced to the love interest, who is some heartthrob exorcist on the run, which I think is kind of what turned me off immediately because, like I mentioned, not only am I not into YA, I'm really not into YA love stories, and I hate that in YA it is just like par for the course that you have to shove a friggin' love interest in no matter what the book. So I'm just really not interested in this, unfortunately. I was hoping I would be because of exorcist, possession, demon type plot, but I'm not really into dystopian stuff as much anymore, so I'm gonna pass these along. Speaking about YA dystopians, we have my last thing to go through, and that is The Forsaken by Lisa M. Stasi. This reminds me of something similar to Divergent, where these kids, once they reach a certain age, they have to take some sort of personality test, and the ones who aren't up to snuff are kind of pushed aside and put on this island together, I guess. So maybe Divergent mixed with a little bit of the 100 or Minority Report, I guess. I do love the cover, which is what led me to picking this up. And the first chapter is 15 pages. So in the first chapter of this book, we find out that essentially North America has turned into a dictatorship. And to cut down on crime, they make all students take a test at the age of 16 to determine whether or not they're going to be some sort of criminal. If they are, they get sent to this island, and if they do, they get sent to this island where they probably won't live longer than a couple years. Our main character is about to take that test the next day, although she expects to pass it, but of course we know that she'll fail because that's what the book is about. Once again, you immediately get introduced to a love interest for the main character, and once again, that immediately turns me off from wanting to read this book. I also found that some of the writing was just like really over the top. The book is trying to convince you that everybody is fooled by this dictatorship except the main character. She's the only one smart enough to see through it. But everyone else is just totally on board with everything that's happening in their country, which it just felt a little over the top. So I will not be keeping this book either. So in total, I'm going to be unhauling 5 of the 6 books, although this one I'm going to pick up on audiobook. And I'm only going to be keeping 1. So I think I did pretty good. I do have another stack of books that I want to do another try a chapter tag for, but I think I'll wait until next month or something because I don't want this video to be too insanely long. So I hope you liked this video, and I hope you'll come back in soon. Bye.